It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from London Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Beer Street. This is an unfiltered best bitter coming in at 4% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. We have drank this beer before with the owners, head brewers, founders of this lovely company. And you can find the video if you put in London Brewing Company into YouTube. You'll see an hour or two long, maybe 3 hour, 3 hour long interview with the head brewers and owners of this company on our channel. We drank about 3, 4, maybe even 5 of their beers, and I remember this one. I remember this absolutely stood out for me. Absolutely stood out. So I wanted to give it a review on YouTube, just from myself, just me standing in front of the camera, giving my thoughts on this beer. We got a 3-finger, slightly off-white head, hazy, deep mahogany coloured beer in the glass. Not much carbonation moving around in the glass, but that's exactly what you would kind of expect from this style. What I'm looking at here in the glass is something that you would have expected from a packaged product, a packaged best bitter, probably pre-1980s, before the lager threat really hit the UK. This is what you could have expected from a bottle or a can of beer. And it's nice to see that there's some breweries out there who are reverting back to the traditional best beer, best bitter style, because on its day, and if you get a really, really good one, for me it can be up there with some of the best styles in the world. It really can. Let's get the aroma. While I'm here, I might as well say this beer is available at beersofeurope.co.uk. Check out the link in the description box of the video for beersofeurope.co.uk. Aroma. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. There's the smallest hint of licorice mixed with a biscuity caramel aroma. There's even the smallest hint of vanilla in this beer. Touch of chocolate. Just incredible. I was blown away by this beer, and I'm glad, because I'm glad it's blowing me away again, because I remember reviewing this beer and I remember it being the pick of the bunch. It was the first beer we drank together on this interview on YouTube, and I remember being like completely, I don't think the brewer and the owners really understood how much I liked the beer, but it's doing exactly the same things that it was doing back then. It's doing the same things now to my nostrils. It's an absolute delight. I'm going to dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, just very rarely do I cross-pollinate. Very rarely do I talk about different beers, because it can become very confusing on YouTube. But I just reviewed a beer that's 5% ABV, available in Sainsbury's. It's the Yorkshire Bitter, and it's brewed by Black Sheep Brewery. And this beer, have a look at the two. Have a look at the difference in the two beers. Right, this is the Sainsbury's beer. Look at the carbonation. Look at that carbonation. And if you watch the video, you'll see me complaining about the carbonation in that beer. Look at this. Look at the difference in the beer. This was never a great example. I was hoping it was going to be a good beer. It turned out it bent to the lager threat that came from Europe from the 1980s onwards. Bitters started to become carbonated lager hybrids. And it's a real shame because, again, I'll say it again, if you brew this beer correctly to how it's supposed to be brewed, it can be one of the best styles in the world if you like a malty beer. It's biscuity, it's bready, it's nutty. There's a touch of, like, I'm sure that, well, they've definitely put some red malt in. You can get that kind of like caramel malt flavour coming through. Bitter on the back end to balance the beer off. But I'm going to Brew London. I'm going to Brew London in the next 2 weeks. By the time I post this video, I might have even been to Brew London. It might have even been kind of like done and dusted. But if I do manage to post this before I go to Brew London, then I hope to see London Beer Brewing Company there. I hope to see them there because, well, I'll be having one of these on keg. Either keg or cask. Preferably cask. I would love to try this on cask. If it's as good as it is in the can, I can't even imagine how good it is on cask. Brilliant beer. You're even getting slight yeasty kind of flavours coming through because it's an unfiltered beer. It's unfiltered as it should be. Again, it shouldn't look like a carbonated blingy lager, you know? I like lager, don't get me wrong, I like lager. I review a lot of lagers on the channel. But I don't need to look at the beer to realise I like the beer. If the beer looks hazy like this, then for me, a lot of people would look at this and go, oh my goodness me, what are you drinking? But you don't drink with these, you drink with this. Brilliant. I could drink pint after pint after pint of that. A modern take on a traditional style, this unfiltered best is as joyous as the scenes painted in Hogarth's famous print. This rich toffee and biscuit flavours, the best of British hops in Goldings and Fuggles, lends to a beautifully smooth mouthfeel. That's got to be the best bitter brewed in London. The best, the greatest bitter brewed in London. It's better than Fuller's London Pride. This is, if you want to try an amazing best bitter in London, look for this. Beer Street. It's incredible. I cannot emphasise it enough. I really can't. It's a massive Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.